We are talking about triangle congruence postulates, and we want to use these postulates in order to prove that triangles are congruent. So again, we have some given information. In this case, we want to try to prove that the two triangles are congruent. The first thing says redraw overlapping triangles. Now, this is not a requirement, but this is a suggestion because it can get pretty confusing. And it doesn't have to be exact, but what I like to do is I like to just kind of line it up. I'm going to just redraw one of them. And it says triangle FHFHG. So we can kind of see that right there. I'm just going to take this, and I'm not going to move it at all. I'm just going to slide it over. And so I'm going to make that right there. And then H is going to go right there. I'm just going to slide it over. And then the last one is FH. And that's going to be a pretty good trace. That's not going to be exact, but it's going to be good enough so that we can mark our drawing without getting confused. So then once we have it retraced, then we'll go right into given information and writing things down like that. So angle G is congruent to angle I. So here's angle G that's congruent to angle I. And we can see right here, G and I match up, so that makes sense. And the reason we can write that is given. And that is an angle. The next thing that we're looking at is line segment GH is congruent to line segment IJ. So GH is right here, 1, 2, 3. We'll call that a side. And that is IJ. So IJ is right here, 1, 2, 3. So that is also a side. And the reason that we can say that is given. So there's no other given information, but what we can write down is we can write down the prove, which is what we're trying to prove in this case. And we're trying to prove that triangle FHG is congruent to triangle FJI. So we have an angle, we have a side, we have an angle, we have a side. And one thing that we noticed right away at the beginning was G and I matched up. Angle G was congruent to angle I, that was given. The other piece of information is angle F is congruent to angle F. And that is an angle. So angle F is congruent to angle F. And in this case, we're talking about the reflexive property of congruence. So we already have the triangles named, and then we have angle, angle, side. And then that is QED.